Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Opposite the Monitor. I'm Scott.
And I'm Anthony.
All right, and let's get into it. And we're going to go lightly over all of the games that were shown at Summer Games Fest, as well as we took a look at Future Games Show, as well as Xbox Games Showcase. So we got a lot to cover. Of course, we're not going to go through every game that was shown. That would probably be a 4-hour, podcast. We ain't about to do all that.
4 or 5 hours. That'd be way too long.
No, we're not about to do that. But starting off, so actually what I want to do first, though, is that, here's the big surprise, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That was actually like an amazing trailer. Can't wait for this. But before we delve into it, though, I want to know exactly, out of the 3 showcases, which one which one showed you exactly what you were looking for as far as like games you were anticipating, games you were like, which one had the most to offer?
Summer Game Fest for sure.
Summer Games Fest, okay.
Yeah, because I've been waiting for Final Fantasy forever, I'm sure as everyone else has, so definitely Summer Games. Like, it's not only that game that like got me intrigued because of this game show, but like that is like the peak of my weekend of all these announcements, I'll tell you that.
Definitely. I probably would have to say I probably also have to say Summer Games Fest, but I don't know, man. It's a tie between Summer Games Fest and Xbox Game Showcase for me, personally.
Everything's better than the Future Game Show because that should have just been called Indie Game Show.
Jesus, I'm not finna shit on indies like that. Like I enjoy indies.
I'm not shitting on them, but I'm just saying all it was just indies.
Yeah, I mean, look, I enjoy indie titles, especially since I just pre-ordered like my ROG Ally. I'm trying to get indied out. I'm trying to buy a whole bunch of indies so I can just play them in the airport and play them while I'm on vacation. So
I know.
I'm all in for the indies. But as we know, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I know this was on your list of anticipated titles. Man, I mean, like what we were shown here, and we can just kind of go through. Some of the screenshots and everything like that. But, first question is, did you complete? I'm pretty sure you completed the first episode, essentially, because this is supposed to be like an episodic series. But,
yeah, of course.
So like as far as like from what you remember, looking at the trailer for this one, I know they kind of, from what I remember, I think the beginning of the trailer did start off at the end of the first episode. So as far as like the trailer goes, like, did you notice anything like that was, I know we got like more chocobos this time. I don't think we got that. I don't think we got any chocobos really in the first game, but like
it feels like it's a bit more close to the original Final Fantasy VII.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the open world aspect of it, or the open part of the world instead of just being in Medgar.
Yeah.
That is pretty sick to me, and I was waiting to see this forever, and now that I see it, it's awesome, because if you remember the original Final Fantasy VII, you're literally just a sprite walking on just like a map. Like there's no physical area until you like get into like that area, and then it has to load into that like city or farm or whatever it is that you find that you run into, and it looks so good. Like seeing it be fully fledged 3D and like have textures and just so pretty compared to, obviously, I mean, Final Fantasy VII's PS1, still a great freaking game, like one of the best Final Fantasies in my opinion, which I know a lot of people will say that it's not, that it's just hype or whatever, but I love Final Fantasy VII. I don't care what anyone else says.
Yeah, no, I definitely love it too. Just to piggyback on what you said about the openness of the world, though, they did say that, Square Enix did come out and say that this is going to give the player a new sense of freedom in the world, which they're hinting at expanding, like the world is going to be more expanded and give you a little bit more of an open world feel versus, I do know that in the first episode, there was a sense of open world, but it was still much closely along the lines of like a sandbox game. And you go to these different quadrants and each, clusters of maps, which, I don't mind that I don't mind that gameplay style most, because it allows you to be able to not only have better optimization as well, but it also allows you to be able to bring more life into the different biomes that you go into. But yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on that, that open world feeling that you're going to get in this new, in the Rebirth.
Well, yeah, it makes sense that they're doing it this way because, like, again, going back to the original, you were in Medgar for a while, and then once you blow up all the plants and you're out of there, then you get that open world aspect and you leave pretty much the city and you're on your own. And that's when like the true adventure starts really. So that's why it makes sense why they're doing it this way, because like yeah, it was cluster maps, like you're in like the Outer Banks and then the city blowing up the plants and like trying to escape and all that stuff, but like now you're in the open world and it's just so much more of the game that I was waiting for,
Yeah, yeah,
because or at least the part of the game that I was waiting for, like after the city.
yeah. And I
So
mean,
it looks great too on that.
it does. Like the graphics, everything. Like, I mean, not only did the original, like the first episode look amazing, we're still
Yeah.
getting that. Like this game, because this is a PlayStation exclusive. This game was like, it was built from the ground up specifically for PlayStation. I mean, I think it did get ported over to PC eventually. The first one, I can't remember now. But yeah, like, yeah, the graphics seems like it's been maintained. Looks great. Looks like we're getting more boss battles, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Like this boss looks sick. Looks like some spores, things like that. Looks like the like it has tracking beam, like homing beams and shit too. So looks dope.
Man, right there.
Yep, that man.
Sephiroth.
Yeah, he was actually a tough boss to beat in the first one. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh
like,
hell yeah.
like that he has that shadow step he has, and then like as well as like man, like he does a lot of parrying too. So like that boss battle, I will say, was probably one of the tougher ones I play. And I play a lot of Dark Souls games. I play like, even just like, if I had to compare like him to like some bosses that I like, the Valkyries in God of War were tough, but he was probably like one of the more tougher boss battles. And I want to see more of those kind of boss battles in this, in the Rebirth as well.
I'm sure there definitely will be.
Definitely, man. Like I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this one as well. I know you had another one on your list. What else you got? What else you got for me? And I'll give you what I was anticipated about. What actually kind of like surprised me and blew my mind away.
So for this game show, my second one would be like on the top priority of my list is Sandland with Akira Toriyama.
Oh yeah, I do remember that game.
So
yeah,
fucking dope, dude.
There it is. Yep, Sandland.
It's like finally we get like something that's like Dragon Ball Z and very reminiscing of it, but it's clearly something completely different. It just looks so cool, and I love the art style.
Yeah,
and the gameplay looks, or at least the trailer. There's not much gameplay in it, but it looks pretty damn good.
Yeah. I mean, well, I think there was a substantial amount of gameplay. I'd probably say it's a minute and 41.
It's sometimes hard to determine, on these trailers what is and what isn't. So.
Yeah, but I mean, right away when I first saw this trailer, I knew it had to be either part of the Dragon Ball universe or the same design team that does all of the Dragon Ball games, just because just out of the design of it. And then as soon as they announced Akira Toriyama, I was like, oh bro, like I'm in. I'm thinking this is like an expansion or something like that, or something that's expanding upon the universe of Dragon Ball. And then come to find out it's just its own standalone thing. I'm like, that's even better, because you're getting like something that's not tied to Dragon Ball, and it's like its own original IP. So I'm like, man, I'm excited for this too. Another caveat too that I wanted to mention is that like this game is actually built from the ground up on Unreal Engine 5. So I was like,
I know. Yeah, it looks pretty dope too on Unreal Engine 5. I love the whole 3D like animation aspect to it. It's so awesome.
Definitely. But it's really dope, man. I'm excited for this too. You got some good picks, man. I like these picks.
Nice.
I like these picks.
What are your picks? Which one blew your mind so far?
I'm telling you right now, like people are talking about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom being game of the year. This is my game of the year. Mortal Kombat 1, baby. Mortal Kombat 1, this is my game of the year. Nobody can change my mind. None of you are changing my mind about this, bro. Like this is the ultimate event that everybody needs to take part in. Like if you're a fighting game, not even just a fighting game enthusiast, but if you like blood, guts, decapitation, fatalities, brutalities, all kind of that stuff.
Breaking.
Any kind of like gore, any kind of anything like that with a little with some banter and things like that. Like this is where it's at. And man, like, so for instance, like I'm excited for this game because I'm really into Mortal Kombat, and just seeing some of these fatalities, I actually like the new face models. I think Johnny Cage looks a little weird, but I like the Kenshi face model. I like the Sub-Zero. As a matter of fact, this is what they kind of showcased where they were talking about the cameo characters, and some characters will overlap between the primary characters as well as the cameo characters. So you can essentially, like some characters, I think Ed Boon, because they brought Ed Boon out on stage, I think he named Sub-Zero as being one of the characters where they overlap between the cameos, so you can have, like, you can pick Sub-Zero as well as have Sub-Zero be as a cameo character, and actually, it's just a simple button of R1 if you're playing on PlayStation, and there's a cooldown, so there's a cooldown timer, so you can't repetitively use it, but there's a bar, and I think you get it, from what I've seen, when you press it, it seems like a quarter, so it's probably functioning maybe like on a third, at least, not a quarter, but like a third of the bar, so you probably get to use it 3 times max. And you can chain it with combos. You can kind of start out a combo with it. Like it looks dope, it looks amazing. I'm excited for it. The fatalities, they're bringing X-rays back.
Yeah, that's dope too. I was gonna say the X-rays look so sick.
Yeah,
but I got a question though. Have they ever had cameo characters come through in the fights like this before, or no?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure in Mortal Kombat 9 didn't necessarily. You could do the cameo style characters, but Mortal Kombat 9 had co-op involved. So it's like,
oh really?
Yeah. So Mortal Kombat 9, you can choose. So if you wanted to do like a online PvP, you can do 2-player co-op where you and your teammate could choose their character, and then you can kind of do like a tag. You can tag in and out of the fight and stuff like that. Cool. But they've had cameo characters in the past in like old school like Mortal Kombat games. Like Mortal Kombat like 2 like back in the 80s on the arcade platform basically. But the cameo characters are a thing that they're bringing back. It's not actually a new thing. But the X-Ray, I'm pretty sure X-Ray started in Mortal Kombat 10.
I know that's like a more recently added thing to the games.
Yeah, they're bringing X-Rays back. They got Johnny Cage with the nut punch. That's the signature split down the middle nut punch right into Kenshi's balls. Oh yeah, that's that nut check. That's basically, it's that nut check really. But yeah, and then Johnny Cage, being Johnny Cage again. This is one thing. So I'm not a fan of Johnny Cage's face model, but here's the great thing about it is that, and Ed Boon talked about this as well on stage at the Summer Games Fest showcase, and they finally were able to get Jean-Claude Van Damme into the game. He's in skin that you can put on Johnny Cage, as well as once you enable the skin for Johnny Cage, Jean-Claude Van Damme does the voice acting. And if any Mortal Kombat fan, Mortal Kombat was inspired by Jean-Claude Van Damme's Bloodsport movies. And so Ed Boon talked about like them trying to get Jean-Claude Van Damme into the game for like decades, and this is basically like an iconic moment, and great that we're finally getting Jean-Claude Van Damme in the game, and it's kind of like full circle almost, because he's coming into the series. The
starting inspiration of it too.
Exactly. Yeah, cool. He's the starting inspiration, but he's coming back in at the beginning of a new universe, which is also pretty dope. Like, he's not coming in the middle of one. Like, it's starting with him when it originally started with him to begin with. So I think that's also pretty dope. But yeah, man, we're getting like, Johnny Cage. As far as like with the movies go too, it's like I was actually disappointed not to see Johnny Cage in the first movie, because when you think about Mortal Kombat, right? Like I try to compare Mortal Kombat to like the Avengers, right? Like when you think of the Avengers, you think of the big four. Like you think of Iron Man,
Luke Kane.
Yeah, well, as far as like the Marvel movies go, like you think of like,
Oh, you're talking. Okay, yeah.
yeah. You think of like Iron Man, you think of the Hulk, you think of Captain America, and you think of like the big three or big four. With Mortal Kombat, like that's the same way. Like you have Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Scorpion,
Raiden.
and Raiden, or like Johnny Cage. Like he's part of that big group that
Yeah, he's the big name draws.
yeah, and I was just kind of like disappointed not to see him in the movie, which is weird. And they inserted this new character, but whatever. The games are better than movies, anyways. Just like the books are better than movies too. So yeah. I mean, but man, and then Fire Lord Liu Kang, bro, is like crazy. So during this showcase, they also showed like gameplay as well. And man, some of these combos from Liu Kang, like remember when we were talking about before how Liu Kang just felt like the combos just felt slow for who he was. I can see a dramatic difference in the gameplay for this, as well as like I don't know if you noticed during the gameplay, but the way that the combos chain, they chained a lot faster for him in particular. What I saw.
Yeah, it didn't look as tanky as Mortal Kombat has become. I don't know why they were doing that whole tanky fighting style where it's like 3 hits and then like you have like a latency or an animation lag. Like that's what's turned me off to Mortal Kombat for so long.
Yeah.
But this looks more fluid and like the physics look a bit more real. Obviously, like not like the crazy stuff, but like just more fluidity with like the body movements and stuff like that. Like, because I've never seen fighters like even on like real life, like in matches and bouts and stuff, like they don't just do like 2 hits and then they just stop and reset like they do in the old Mortal Kombats. So this one does look way better as far as that, and like just nowhere near as tanky as before, and that's what always irritated me with Mortal Kombat.
Exactly. Like I mean, like even with like Raiden's combat style, like Raiden's combat style looks a lot more fluid. Like Raiden was also one of those tanky characters, even though he's also a monk, but he was also more of like a tanky character, and I felt like he should have had more of a more like fluid kung fu style similar to Kung Lao. You know what I'm saying? Because they're both monks. Like they're both monks. So it's like, it's nice to see that, because it's like I can tell and I can see during the gameplay that like Raiden's combos kind of link a little bit more fluidly now into more of like kind of like Bruce Lee, like water, like that, like what I'm saying. So it's real. Yeah. It's way more fluid though. One of the
as
dope
it should have been.
Yeah, and it's just like I mean, shoot, even like Sub-Zero's combos look fast. Yeah. Which is dope. But one little small thing I wanted to point out too before we move on is that so in this universe, they don't show it here, but in this universe, I mean, you also have Melina and Katana. We both know as sisters, but in this universe, Sub-Zero and Scorpion are brothers in this universe. They're not enemies, which is pretty dope. And that's a pretty significant change to Mortal Kombat's mainline story, is that I really want to know how they ended up becoming, like, they're brothers, but I want to know how they ended up with on two different sides of the coin. And I want to know what happens to Scorpion, like, because typically Scorpion gets his powers from dying and going to hell and essentially being revived, and that means through revenge for his entire family being massacred by Scorpion's clan, Sub-Zero's clan. So I want to know how that plays in, like who kills Sub-Zero's brother.
I wonder if they're not even gonna go with that storyline, since this is technically a soft reboot, that they're just gonna make a whole new story.
Well, no. Ed Boon came out and said on the stage that, like, in this particular storyline, they're brothers. So I'm curious to see how.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder. I don't think they're gonna eventually have where Scorpion goes to hell and comes back to avenge his whole like clan and all that stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Well, then how does he get those abilities then? He has a fire ability.
I mean,
you get what I'm saying?
They'll probably explain it through the story, since it's technically new,
Yeah, like that. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like, I'm curious about that. Like, I want to know, like that's one of the things that's one of the reasons why I'm like anticipating this game, is because like I want to know how they're brothers, and he because in this particular world, I mean, the only way that I know of is you can get those hellfire abilities is by dying and going to hell. So I want to know, like, do the abilities work completely different in this realm? Like, can you have access to that to those abilities and that hellfire ability without dying and stuff like that? Like, does that change? Like, does he have to make like a sacrifice and becoming this person? I'm real curious about that particular storyline in general. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure they're gonna explain it. Pretty sure they're gonna delve into it. But man, this is my game of the year. That's my game of the year. Definitely. Another. I mean, they announced like a bunch of different games. Of course, we got more Alan Wake, we got Sonic. I mean, John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. That was a nice little showing. Sand World, Pal World, which is basically this got announced like 4 years ago.
That Pokemon clone is weird.
Yeah, Pokemon with guns, and basically the Lord of the Rings, which is like a open world survival crafting game, which is also pretty dope. More Final Fantasy. This is a mobile game though, if I'm not mistaken. Banishers was also a nice little game. I'm gonna link all of this in the Discord, not in the Discord, in the description, so you guys can check it out as well. But one of my other games that I wanted to talk about though. And great to see Henry Cavill here, because Henry Cavill is also playing in the Warhammer TV show on Amazon, and Warhammer 40K Space Marines 2 is also another anticipated game, and I mean all around great game that I'm excited for. Man, I remember Space Marines 1 was also amazing, man. It's like the vibe that I get from this, man, and even just looking at it now. And I want to ask you too, Anthony. Does this closely remind you to like how like Gears of War, like the original Gears of War? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. That's literally what I was thinking you were going at to begin with, because that's exactly what it reminds me of. And I remember playing Gears of War, and it just looks like almost very similar gameplay, like big tanky ass dudes that like destroy and like just handle shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it just looks great. Yeah. I'm not into the Warhammer series at all. Like, I haven't played any of the games, but some of these games are making me want to jump in it. I'm not gonna lie.
Definitely,
especially
man.
This one.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, like, Warhammer has a very expansive universe. I'm not too familiar with the universe, with the lore itself. I've played numerous Warhammer games. Like, I played Inquisitor. I played like Dark Tide. I played the original Space Marines. I plan on playing this Space Marine 2 game as well. This Space Marine 2 is more closely aligned to, I probably would put it like along the lines of Dark Tide as well, as far as like the gameplay goes. It's a horde shooter, but it's 4-player co-op. The only difference is that, like, you're playing as a Space Marine, which is a more higher rank, more regarded person within this world, as far as like the world goes. But like in Dark Tide, you play as prisoners, and they're like the low bottom of the barrel. Like, nobody cares. Like, we're using you as cattle to be able to facilitate our goals, basically. And so.
Yeah, if you die, we don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Like we don't care about you. Versus like, like these Space Marines are like, I think they're like 8-9 feet tall, bulky dudes, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it looks like a good, fun game within the Warhammer universe. And I mean, like Warhammer's been doing great. They just had their showcase where they showcase a bunch of games on sale. Warhammer Bolt Gun just got released, which looks amazing. I just purchased it. I haven't played it yet because I'm waiting for my Asus ROG Ally to come out, and I plan on playing it on that. And that'll be one of the first games that I test out on that, on the handheld device. But man, I am excited for this. I can't wait for this. Yeah, man, I'm all on board. I'm all on board with Warhammer. I want to get into the universe. I want to get into the lore. I want to like invest into the board games, things like that. I really want to engulf myself into this world. It's kind of similar to what I've done with like Resident Evil. I put Warhammer up there with Resident Evil as far as me personally, as far as the world goes, and me wanting to learn more about it. So I mean, if anybody got any recommendations, anything, comment it, send it my way. Email it to us, and stuff like that. And yeah, man, like, I want to check out everything. I got to get into the Warhammer community.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of stuff to go through.
Exactly. But all right, moving on, we have Future Games Show, and man, this was I I know you kind of made your jokes at the beginning, but I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. There was some stuff on here. I get it. You know, indie games.
I don't hate indie games. Let me just make that clear. I don't hate indie games. I was just expecting to see a bit more like AAA releases or like, just like not as far indie as they were. Like there was a lot of indie games here.
Yeah.
Like I am not a hater of indie games whatsoever, but some games like that climbing simulator game, like you know what I'm saying? Like some indie games like are good, and then some indie games are just like, yeah, I understand why that's indie.
Yeah. I mean, we I mean, they had some. I mean, some indie and some not. I mean, Lords of the Fallen. You know, that's a AAA game that's coming out.
I know.
Just to briefly speak about this game actually needed a re-release. I mean, not a re-release, a remake, because the original Lords of the Fallen, oh my God, the combat was terrible. They tried to, I don't know what they tried to do. They tried to kind of like mimic Dark Souls a little bit, but kind of take it into their own direction. I'm just like, bro, this combat is not working. I'm operating a tank as a human, basically. Like I'm operating a human as a tank, basically, and it's like the combat just doesn't work. It's just all over the place. This game needed to be redone and re-envisioned, and man, does it look great. Like the gameplay I've seen from it and the trailers and everything look amazing. This is something I do plan on purchasing day one, actually. I want to get into this world. Definitely, especially since I feel like this is a good redemption. But to get into the future game show, Anthony, tell me, what was your surprises, or what were you anticipating? What games that you have on your list? What is it? Tell me what's what.
Oh, bro, just scroll up, just one right there. Star Truckers, man. I have always wanted to drive a semi truck in space, so I'm glad they finally made this game.
Jesus. I could like literally hear all the sarcasm in your voice.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This game does not need to exist. I'm sorry. I was just trolling a little bit.
Look. I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, it's a simulation. I know for a fact it's a simulation game, but there are a lot of people.
I understand, but like, I don't know why. Like, why does someone want to drive semi trucks? Like, I get it. Simulation games obviously exist because people clearly play them.
Yeah.
What, semi trucks in space, bro?
I mean, bro, like who doesn't? Who does? Look. I respect all of my hard-working blue-collar men out there keeping the society going. You know what I'm saying? Without those people, bro, we wouldn't have a society. So I appreciate all of the hard work. I appreciate all of the hard work.
Their semis in space.
Hey, man. Hey man, we already going to fully electric semi trucks. Like that defeats.
No, that will never happen.
Oh no, we already have them. We already have fully electric Mercedes semi trucks and Volvo semi trucks already.
Oh, I know they exist, but it's not going to be the standard for semi truck delivery and any type of goods delivery. It draws too much power, and it literally would take the amount of power that like 4 cities make to make a fleet of semis fully charged. But that's neither here nor there. It's been stated a lot. It's not gonna happen. But anyways, so let's go back to the game that I actually am looking forward to, and it is the Bookwalker. That game looks pretty sick.
There it is right there. Bookwalker.
I love the art style. I love the whole aspect of it, like jumping into books, grabbing like these like basically immeasurable treasures, like in this like these lands that are made up in like these books, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just coming out into the real world with them, that looks sick. Like who used to read books and not wish that they could do or have what the books or stories that you're reading in real life? And this is literally like displaying it almost. It looks really sick.
Yeah.
So this is one of the games that I want to buy.
Yeah,
for sure.
The art style does look pretty dope. I am interested in it when I saw the trailer. It does look like something that you could probably. Well, I think it was mostly cinematics, but I'm curious to see more gameplay from it.
Yeah, same.
I'm curious to see more gameplay from it. And I also want to see. I know it has to be. Pretty. I mean, it must be intensive since for the fact that it's being announced specifically for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and I don't see Switch on here. So,
and it's coming out this month too, right? June 22nd.
Yeah, June 22nd. And
that's the demo. Yeah, demo.
The demo you can play now. So I mean, like, hey,
okay.
If you like it, man, go ahead and jump on the demo for I'm pretty sure the demo's on Steam only.
Of course.
So I mean, so yeah, I thought it looked interesting though.
Yeah, for sure. It looks pretty dope, and
Yeah.
I can see myself loving the story of this game.
Yeah, I mean, definitely go. I mean, I may actually test it out, try it out too, and then come back and reconvene at a later date.
Yeah, let me know your opinions.
Definitely. What else, man? What else you got for me? Is that it or?
No. Cookie Cutter.
Oh yes, Cookie Cutter.
That game looks just straight up fun. Like
Cookie Cutter.
I could see myself I could see myself playing that for hours. It just looks so fun.
Yeah, Cookie Cutter is definitely
like Metroidvania, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there we go. Metroidvania. That shit just looks cool. Like I'm all for it.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely. I actually, this was one of the ones that I wanted to put on my list too. But then when I found out you put it on yours, I was like, I want to talk about it. Yeah, I want to talk about it regardless. Because man, I love man. Look, I don't know what it is, but my mindset has changed ever since I got me a handheld now. And ever since I got me a handheld now, bro, it's just like I'm looking for indie games like this because I do love Metroidvania games. And there's another game on my list that's similar to this. And I do love Metroidvania games, man. And this does look great. I love the animation. I love the quirkiness of it. I love the punk rock about it. Like I'm pretty sure like one of her abilities and one of her weapons in the game was like using a guitar basically, and just like guitar solo went through an entire fleet of enemies, but yeah, man, I'm excited for this. I actually like Cookie Cutter. Me and you on the same line, Anthony. We got some good taste up in there.
Well, man, I've been telling you, get on the handheld for a while. I've been on my Switch, and there's a ton of indie games on there.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, I've been playing games on the handheld, even the Metroid games, bro.
Yeah.
You like Metroidvanias, they got Castlevania on there, too.
Exactly. Like
I've been missing out, bro.
I think the main reason why is I've been waiting for something like the ROG Ally. Like, I have, like, you can be able to play games from Epic Game Store, Steam, GOG, Game Pass, like...
Emulators too.
Yeah, emulators. It's a computer in your hands, and I'd rather have that versus like trying to play on my phone or a tablet or anything like that. Like it's like a full-fledged like desktop in my hands. And I think this is why I'm just like really excited for a bunch of games like this, man, because I can do stuff like on the go and stuff like that, and not necessarily have to be like, oh, let me bring my PlayStation 5 with me or whatever like that, or let me use GeForce, the NVIDIA GeForce, a cloud streaming platform to be able to stream my stuff through my phone and stuff like that. Like this, I'm excited for a lot of these games, man.
Because it's not even like that. Like it's just like newer graphics or anything like that. It's just the whole nostalgic effect. The platformers, the side rollers. It's just fun. Like you could just literally turn off your brain and just do like crazy stuff. And like even now, like we have Unreal Engine 5, but these games are still fun and still look good, and a lot of people still play them. So not every game needs to be like the best graphics in the whole world,
Nope, it doesn't. I completely agree. But yeah, Cookie Cutter definitely a game people should check out. It definitely is a game that people need to keep on their radar. If you like old school, if you like old school, like Metroidvania, like it's not even like the aesthetic ain't even retro. If you like the animation style of it, like it's more so closely aligned to like a very anime style type of game. Not necessarily like a JRPG, more like an American anime, but like it's like the animation style is very good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They put a lot of effort into this game, and I'm, Cookie Cutter definitely is on my. I added it to my wish list when I saw it during the showcase. Definitely. All right, man. What else you got for me, man?
That was pretty much it for this one.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, man, look.
I mean, Precinct looked pretty cool too, but
look, yeah. Well, Precinct is my number one on here. So.
Okay, there we go.
Definitely, man. Look, if you like the old school, like top down, even mentions it right here. If you like the old school top down GTA games like GTA 1, GTA 2, and stuff, this game looks right. It's right up your alley, bro. Like it does seem more so like a police type of like simulator, I guess, but there's some story elements to it. There's it's based in 1980s, which is also a great time for being a cop back in the day, because it was just action and all kind of stuff. I mean, I guess like I wasn't born in the 80s, but I mean, like from the movies.
I was about to say, how would you know?
I mean, like I wasn't born in the 80s. I'm a millennial baby. I'm a 90s baby. But like from the movies I watch, you know what I'm saying? Like
Beverly Hills Cop.
Exactly.
Type of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like it encapsulates and captures that moment for me, and that's what I saw in this. And I mean, like I even got like some XCOM kind of like vibes from this, not necessarily like turn based, but more so like even in the screenshot right here where they have like duck and cover mechanics and stuff. You can actually arrest people, take people to jail, go out on calls, different stuff like that. So it does have kind of like a simulation-esque style to it. But man, like if you enjoy that old school top down, GTA vibe, it's open world, or I guess, well, it's not like open world, it's a sandbox, yeah. But it's more like it's in a city type of thing. You're not like constrained to like small portions
linear
of it.
Streets, yeah.
Yeah, you can actually just go in throughout the entire city. And man, like it's another one for a great hand. If you've got a handheld, man, if you got a Steam Deck, or if you have a Asus ROG Ally, and you pre-order one like I did, get this game for sure. I promise you're not going to like be disappointed in it. I did a little bit more digging behind the scenes with this game. Like it looks like it's gonna be great. Definitely check that out. One of the
game kind of reminds me of too. Like what? I know they keep mentioning GTA. Do you remember Driver for PS1?
Yes, I remember Driver.
It reminds me of that as well.
Yes,
like obviously you couldn't get out the car, but there was all these cop chases and stuff, and you had to like avoid them and stuff like that.
Yep.
And it was also like from behind, top down. That game was fun as hell. I used to play the shit out of that game.
Yeah, even Driver. I remember Driver and Driver 2. Remember in Driver 2, you can do like customizations in your car. You can put a lift kit on your car.
Yeah, you actually could get out.
Yeah, you could get out. You put a lift kit. It was almost Grand Theft Auto. It was like
pretty much.
It was like Grand Theft Auto before Saints Row, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the Grand Theft Auto clone before Saints Row for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the vibe I keep getting from this, especially like the old box Chevy style cars too.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for it. Can't wait. It's coming to PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. So
it's gonna be dope.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be intensive. Like I said, like typically they'll mention Nintendo Switch in here. So I mean, like if it's not mentioned on here, it may just require a little bit more hardware power, a little bit more performance.
What I think it might be is, how Nintendo's all about like censoring some mature titles.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that either. Yeah, you're right about that. They do have like a brand they need to uphold, like Disney.
Yeah, because the graphics don't seem too crazy, because it is, again, top down, like, old school style gaming. So
yeah,
I think it's just because the shooting and the blood and stuff like that. So,
but what I don't know, granted, they trying to put Call of Duty on. They trying to put Call of Duty on. Yeah, but
I guarantee they'll have some sort of way of like
you can turn off the blood,
like muting the blood. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, turn off blood and all that stuff. But I mean, also you can't not have Call of Duty on your system. One of the biggest selling game titles, like literally ever.
I mean, definitely. We also got like a new announcement for Daymare 1994 Sandcastle, so that's also coming pretty soon, actually, August 30th. This is like another entry into that series too. I just wanted to mention that series is actually pretty dope. Warhaven's also a nice little free-to-play game that's coming out too. It looks interesting. Thinking even a little bit more information on it, but I mean, I can't remember the name of that Ubisoft game. I actually bought it, but I haven't played it in years. I can't remember that. I can't remember the name of that game, but you basically pick like these different warriors or whatever, and you battle it out of like a skirmish and stuff like that.
I know what game you're talking about.
I can't remember the name of it.
I can't remember the name either, but I know exactly what game you're talking about.
Yeah, but so another one that actually was on my list that was surprising, and I think it's right here.
Semi Truck Simulator?
No, not Semi Truck Simulator. I don't drive trucks. I'm part of that. I'm part of that group that doesn't enjoy like snow running and stuff like that. I can see how it can be enjoyable if you play it with a group of friends, but I mean, any game is pretty fun with a group of friends, really.
Yeah, exactly.
But one of the games that surprised me that I was like, yo, I want to play this right now. It is The Last Faith. And The Last Faith is also kind of like a Metroidvania, and they go on to say it's a mix of Metroidvania sensibilities with Souls-like flair. And man, like
That means it's gonna be hard.
yes, and I love that. Like I'm into Dark Soul games. I'm into that whole Souls like type of style. I've been playing them. I've been playing it ever since I was like in middle school. And so like yeah, these games are amazing, man. But The Last Faith, it's side scroller. It's very retro. It has retro graphics to it too. It's not necessarily like it doesn't look like this image. You won't see like the realistic graphics, anything like that. It is very like pixel retro style.
Yeah, it says a pixelated take on Bloodborne.
Exactly. So like it's pixelated, but man, like the gameplay itself, it is Metroidvania style. It is Souls like I mean, they mentioned Bloodborne. The world itself does have a Bloodborne feel, that old like Renaissance era type, you know what I'm saying, feel to it, I guess. Like industrial kind of Renaissance era. But yeah, I'm excited for this. Last Faith, definitely a game. And this was coming to Nintendo Switch, surprisingly. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure this one. I'm pretty sure this one was pretty violent. I think they probably got away with it because it's pixelated.
Yeah, and also it's probably like that type of fantasy.
Yeah,
not like realistic, like cops and robbers type stuff.
Definitely. But I'm gonna link this. I'm gonna link this entire article into the description of the video. If you guys want to check out The Last Faith, they have their website link here. You can register for access for the upcoming beta. So if you want to try out the beta pretty soon, go ahead and register. I'm definitely gonna register after this video. So but yeah, so The Last Faith, man, definitely go check that out. My last one though I have on my list that like, and I'm just getting more into the creative stance of this, but that as well as the reminiscence of this. And I want to bring up the Spirit of the Samurai. Spirit of the Samurai looked amazing. I know you had some things to say about it as well. I don't know if you want to voice your opinion on this, Anthony, but
oh yeah, man, no, it looks so dope. I love the stop animation, art style, and everything.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is also going to be another game I get. I hope it comes to the Switch so I can play it handheld as well, because I mean, I love playing my Switch.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean,
and it's a side scroller, so like, what better console to play it on? I don't need a PS5 to play this game, you know?
Exactly. And like, I mean, like it looks like Nightmare Before Christmas. The animations do.
Yeah. That claymation stop animation style. It looks super dope. It works very well with this.
Exactly. It also reminded me of Trek to Yuma, which is also another game you guys should try it if you don't know about it. It's basically Ghost of Tsushima on a side scroller. Essentially, it has that old school, like, I don't know if you guys ever watched the old school Japanese action movies back in the day when they were like black and white, all that stuff like that. Like Trek to Yuma is basically that, but in video game form on a side scroller. And this is kind of like what that reminded me of, as far as like, I mean, the action, the combat, you know, aside from the stop motion and animation stuff, but as far as like the side scrolling aspect of it, the combat aspect of it, the fast pace, the different type of, you know, enemy types and stuff like that. Like, I'm excited to kind of delve into the Spirit of Samurai and the world behind it, the developers. I actually want to research and get more information on, I mean, like how long it took for them to even kind of develop this game and put it into, you know, put it into this particular world like this. Like I know it's stop motion, but I mean, everything can be automated through AI in today's world. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
I wonder how they did it too, because it looks so like perfect to the stop motion, but then it also looks so fluid as well, and like
exactly
digital, you know?
Yeah, because it's like this is kind of like one of the first kind that I've seen that stop motion with, like, within a video game. Like, I don't think I've ever seen stop motion in a video game before. Like, we've seen animations like Cuphead and things like that, but stop motion is typically reserved for movies, from what I could mostly see and seeing.
I've never seen anything like that either in a video game, which is why I'm so interested in it too, because it's just, such a fresh take on something, you know?
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, man, I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it. But moving on, man, we have a last showcase of the day, and that is the Xbox Game Showcase. We also have more. There's also more showcases going on. We won't be able to cover those in this one, but tune in. They got Ubisoft Forward. They're going to be giving more information on Prince of Persia and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
But
that game looks dope.
Prince of Persia looks dope too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Xbox Game Showcase, lay it on me, Anthony. What were your games that you were excited for? I mean, outside of Fable, Fable was the one we kind of knew.
Everybody's excited for Fable.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really show too much about Fable, other than just like a cinematic trailer. You know what I'm saying? But Fable, we knew was coming. They teased it. We knew it was coming. Actually surprised by the. I mean, I know you were surprised by the character design.
Yeah, they actually did really well. Like, I know it's a cinematic trailer, but it's just something we've never seen the developers of Forza do, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I was a bit skeptical. But like I said, I knew it was going to look pretty, and from the cinematic trailer, it does look pretty, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the one I'm looking forward to from the Xbox showcase is Persona 3 Reloaded. I was actually thinking about getting it for my PS2, but now I don't because I could get it in way better graphics and new.
Exactly. There we go.
Yeah, and I've been wanting to get into Persona for a while. So what better time to start, you know? And especially when they're coming out with their other game, Metaphor. I know it's not Persona, but it's the same company. But like,
and Persona 5 Tactical.
Great. Yeah, well, yeah. I have the Persona 5 the Royale, right? That was the free game from back in the day a couple of months ago. I have that too. I need to start playing that as well. But I figured I would just start with 3 and then move my way forward. I'm not sure if the stories really align with everything, but I definitely want to start from the beginning and go forward. I know it's not 1, but it's the best I could do for now because I mean, not to my knowledge, I don't know if there's a remake of 1.
Nah, I don't know. Not to my knowledge either. But I mean, the Persona was had their hands all in this showcase. They had 3 different games they announced.
Right.
So I mean, I don't even know. Did Xbox buy their company? Like, they definitely just went in. Does Xbox own Atlas?
I mean, they probably do know the way they keep buying up these developing companies.
I mean, Jesus, they were all in here. You got 3 games essentially from the Persona creators. So I mean, that's great though, man. Persona 3. I was never really into Persona like that. I mean, I know of the games, but I was never really into Persona like that. But I mean, there's a community for it, and it's popular obviously because they keep making them. So.
Yeah, I've been trying to get back into the JRPG, so
definitely.
I definitely want to start with Persona again.
Definitely. Well, I mean, here you go. You got a whole list to choose from right here.
Yeah, right. I'm definitely gonna play that Metaphor game too. That looks pretty dope.
Metaphor. Yeah, Metaphor definitely looks interesting too.
I just hope like they didn't buy it so I could get it on other consoles. You know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck to my PC.
Yeah, I don't think they bought them out because I'm pretty sure this is coming to. Well, they're not gonna mention it not at the Xbox Games Showcase.
Yeah, of course they're not gonna be like, also on PS5, our competition.
Yeah, they're not gonna mention it, but
yeah, I hope it does though.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Scroll down to the Tactical 5. I think it actually said it. No, Persona 5. Never mind.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, I thought I saw P and 5. I was like, oh wait, PlayStation 5. Okay. No, my next game is everyone else's game, of course. Starfield. It looks really dope. It's definitely surprising how polished it looks, and especially how long it's been taking. So I mean, I know we were joking about the whole Deadeye aspect of all the characters. Like, it is true. That's Bethesda's trademark right there. Just little facial expressions and straight dead eyes. But other than that, the game looks pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely gonna be waiting for this one on PC because I'm not an Xbox guy. But yeah, I wish Bethesda wasn't bought out by Microsoft, to be honest with you. But because I don't want to sit on my PC for 100+ hours in a computer chair. It's just, I'm a couch guy. I got a 65-inch 4K TV that my PS5 is on, and I would rather play it on that than my PC, to be honest with you. but I'm not buying an Xbox because I have a PC, so I guess that's where I'm stuck at right now with this
Yeah.
game at least.
Yeah, like I mean, yeah, like Starfield was the the juggernaut of the entire showcase.
Yeah, the most anticipated one of the showcase.
Yeah, and it's the most one we got the most information on too as well. Like I say, I objectively speaking, this game is definitely like especially from the information that we got today. This game is definitely shaping up to be pretty good. I don't like look the graphics itself. They look last gen, and that's just me being completely honest. They look last gen. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't look up to par, but what I will say though, and the highlight of the Starfield Direct showcase for me is that I like the fact that they worked on the gunplay combat, because Fallout 4's gunplay combat is so bare bones and standard. It's like it's not even like, it seems like an afterthought or like an addition to the game itself. But going through the actual gunplay, the different weapons, the customization, the different the different elements that you can use. Because I don't know if you noticed, but they had like frost mines, frost grenades from you shoot grenade launchers and stuff like that to freeze enemies, stuff like that. Like
I saw that.
Yeah, like I love that. You know what I'm saying? The world design does look good too. I do like the different type of elements that they've added, as far as like, or not the elements, the different type of biomes that they have that you can go to, and each one has its own specific thing. The creatures. One thing I did want to mention with the creatures though is that they always use the same generic like head bash for every creature that, and I've seen it multiple times, and I'm like, why in the hell does every creature have to do a head bash? Like, allow them to, if they have like spores on their back or whatever, allow them to be able to like blow up the spores on their back, and then all kind of toxins come out of it or whatever. Or like,
you know, the bloaters in The Last of Us.
Yeah, like have them differentiate themselves from like other enemies, and it also makes the combat dull because it's like it's so easy to dodge. You know what I'm saying?
Anticipated as well, yeah.
Exactly. So it's just like those are just my two critiques. Other than that, though, I enjoyed the Starfield showcase. I think it's gonna be amazing. You know what I'm saying? I still don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it deliver a $70 experience. And the main reason why I say that is because of one of the big hits for me for this, and one of the things that kind of bring it down for me is the whole procedurally generated thing. And they're still on that mindset of like bigger is better, when bigger is not always better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think this, instead of just having like a whole procedurally generated world, like universe, you know, and it's so expansive and you can tout how many planets are in a universe. It's just, when it come down to people bragging about numbers and stuff like that, it just starts to become like, okay, you put too much emphasis on this and something else is lacking behind the scenes. And that's typically what it ends up being a lot of the times. And so I think this game could have really benefited from being like within a galaxy, and then the worlds themselves are handcrafted by the developers. You know what I'm saying? And in that way, it's like you could have gotten like something. It would have been on a smaller scale, but you could have probably got more of an emphasis on like, you know, being able to land your spacecraft on planets, and not like, because we all know that when you go from planet to the actual open universe through the atmosphere, it's all cinematic. When you go from the universe through an atmosphere onto a planet, it's cinematic. You're not actually doing it yourself. And that's probably just them being able to optimize the entire game, because if they allowed you to be able to do that, it's like something else has to be degraded and downgraded to allow that function to be able to happen, because it's, you know, I mean, graphically I could tell they're not running on like a newer engine really. So it's like, you know, that's just one thing that kind of like downgrades it for me. But I mean, the space combat was amazing as well. A lot of the stuff I saw in the space combat was actually stuff I enjoyed from Elite Dangerous. And Elite Dangerous is like, I mean, if anybody's played that game, like, you know, like that is like one of the most, like one of the top tier, like, space, exploration games that you could play. And so like I'm glad they took things from that game, implemented into this game and stuff like that. So I mean, like it was amazing. It was amazing. I enjoyed it. And stuff like that. But yeah, you got anything else for us?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think that they made that a choice from going from space to planet to space, making it a cutscene? Because like the game was supposed to release like a year or two ago, right? So
Yeah,
I
they
feel like
delayed.
it was so broken because of these things and having like a continuous like flow and like no load screens and stuff like that. I feel like that's one of the things that they probably had to cut back on and like make a choice to actually like make it animated, you know?
Yeah.
Like because the game like it should have been out a while ago and I don't think that the graphics are as bad like either you say last gen or not. It's their proprietary engine, so it is what it is. I think it's still a very pretty game, but I feel like because of how intensive it is, at least to me, that they had to make that decision and try to add load screens and try to make the game just flow better. And
Yeah.
that's why it looks the way it looks and there's like minuscule details like me personally, I don't give a damn about landing on the planet. I'm down for that being a cutscene. I know you want that obviously because you are spoiled by Elite Dangerous, but that game is nowhere near on the size and scale of this game. So that's why they were able to do that. Other than them, you know. So I mean, to me, it makes no difference whether you load into the planet or load into the universe. I could give a damn. As long as the gameplay itself is good and the game looks pretty, which it does. I know you're all about Unreal Engine 5 and getting close to those graphics, but I mean, this game has been in development for a while, so it's not going to be on Unreal 5. It's not going to
Well,
be on anything like Unreal 5.
well, no, I'm not necessarily saying like it being on Unreal. It doesn't have to be on Unreal Engine 5. It just has to look modern.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's not going to be like that just because of how long this game has already been in production, and they're not going to do more things to keep pushing it back. They've been wanting this game out for years.
Look,
So I mean, you got to take some cuts.
That would be meaningful to me if I already didn't know that there were other games that have been in that same situation that have come out with a better looking product. I will say that.
Well, think about this: when this game would have released 2 years ago on schedule, everyone would have been shitting themselves on how good it looked.
Well,
Correct?
not necessarily, because well, the only
I
reason
think it looks really good, dude.
the only reason why I say that is because this game looks the same as the last time I saw it last year. The main reason why it got delayed, and I remember this specifically, QA testers came out and they tested the game and they were like, this game is nowhere ready to be launched this year. Like
I know.
They came out in the articles about this and like literally once that came out, they were like Microsoft or Bethesda made an official announcement saying that it was going to be delayed to 2023. So it's not that. It doesn't have to look like Unreal Engine 5. Now, when you say that, you were saying that Elite Dangerous isn't on the same scale as Starfield, or Starfield isn't on the same scale as Elite Dangerous?
No, I'm saying like as far as how massive the supposed open universe is, I'm sure Elite Dangerous is not on this scale.
No, Elite Dangerous is on this scale. Elite Dangerous,
Is it really?
yes,
It's ever expanding and
Yes.
so many different planets. Really?
yes, yep,
Oh,
it is.
okay.
It is. It's very, like it's in that same realm of like No Man's Sky, where it's just like they all have procedurally generated like planets and star systems. And my thing is I think Elite Dangerous is more detailed than this game is. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, then don't play this game.
well, what I'm saying is
Elite Dangerous.
What I'm saying is, I mean, Elite Dangerous it's still lacking into the fact of more like, I mean, you can get out of the ship and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that Starfield is going to be is like a terrible game. I'm just saying that these graphics look similar to Elite Dangerous. And Elite Dangerous came out in 2014, 2015.
Wait, hold on. You're saying you can get out of the ship in Elite Dangerous, but it's clearly not as expansive as getting out of the ship in Starfield is?
Well, no, you can get out of the ship in Elite Dangerous now, because they did an update. They did an expansion to the game that allowed them to be. You can like your character that you created before and stuff, you can actually get out of the ship, and the expansion is called Elite Dangerous Odyssey. You can actually get out of the ship and all that stuff, walk on planets.
So when talking about Elite Dangerous before the expansion, it seems like it's nowhere near what Starfield is trying to give.
I mean, no, like it's still on the same cusp. Like
you can get out of the ship now. I mean, seems like it's completely different.
Well, Elite Dangerous Odyssey came out 2019. So even before Starfield showed their first gameplay showcase, Elite Dangerous was doing it before Starfield even got like officially announced. So I'm not trying to compare, like, what I'm saying, I'm not trying to be like Elite Dangerous is better than Starfield. I can tell you're trying to go down that route of like this game is better than
like
the next.
You were trying to.
No, I'm not trying to go down that route. What I'm saying is that in order for if it's graphically, this game looks last gen. Graphically,
I'll tell you this: it looks better than any ESO game or Elder Scrolls game they've ever came out with.
I mean, the only last Elder Scrolls game that came out in like 2012, which was Skyrim. You got ESO, but it's like
doing the remaster and the ESO and all that stuff. And those
but I mean, like that's not a game that's built from the ground up in 2023. You know what I'm saying? It's two completely different things.
This game is releasing in 2023.
This game is being built ground up at a later date than ESO or Skyrim, so it still doesn't. The point is what I'm saying is that the graphics don't look modern. They look last gen, which is okay.
They look good in my opinion.
They look last gen, which is PS4, Xbox 360, time, which is perfectly fine. They look closer to Fallout 4, which is perfectly fine. But I'm just saying that's just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? But
it's hard to please when it comes to the Bethesda games. It seems
overall, not really. Like I like Elder Scrolls, so I mean, like overall, the game itself looks, as far as not looks, but like the gameplay, everything else about it is amazing. It's just I'm not down with the graphics, and I'm not down with the procedurally generated stuff. I don't even like the procedurally generated stuff in Elite Dangerous or No Man's Sky, because it's just replication of the same same assets. So I mean, I'm just like, I mean, there's a lot of people that like No Man's Sky, but I'm just saying, like, I don't like the procedurally generated aspects of the game. First. I like the more like tailored to the like a closed experience and things looking different, going to different biomes and stuff like that. But yeah, Starfield, I mean, it was it was good from what I saw. I'm just not down with the graphics, but
I like the graphics. That's all I'm gonna say.
But is there anything else that kind of caught your attention that you got?
No, that was it for me.
Okay.
What about you? What's your games?
Avowed finally got some gameplay of Avowed. Looks great. I mean, like I'm excited for Avowed. Even when the actual trailer got released, I was excited for it. I mean, Obsidian does great with their games. There isn't an Obsidian game that I've played that I did not enjoy. So I mean, like, yeah, like I'm excited for this. It looks like old school Oblivion. Just a little bit. It looks. I mean, it obviously has better graphics. It obviously you can actually. They're kind of taking that spell like first person spell kind of magic combat that was in Immortals of Avium, and I actually like that too. I'm starting to like this new like first person like spell casting games and stuff. But man, it looked amazing. I'm excited for it. Even the gameplay that was shown, I'm excited for it. I definitely want to kind of like pre-order this game. And I mean, like if you into like I mean, they made Outer Worlds too, so it's like that's actually
Yeah, Outer Worlds was dope.
Yeah, they I mean, if you like RPGs, man, they great. I enjoy them. Definitely. But so one of the other ones I want to mention too, because we kind of scrolled past it, I think, was they also mentioned Star Wars Outlaws. Just wanted to mention this real quick. I mean, we kind of knew this was coming from Ubisoft anyways, so I mean, I'm excited for it. Can't wait for it. I could have swore that this was like a game that was more tailored to you create your own character, but maybe I was wrong. It seems like they have like an actual character now that you play as. I don't know if this character is just supposed to portray the player. We need more details on that. But from the trailer, though, I mean, the trailer just showed like open world. So, I mean, we know it's open world. It looks like it's going to be like more scavenger, bounty hunter-esque, not necessarily Jedis, anything like that. So, I mean, like, what is your thoughts on this real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I love Star Wars, but I don't like some of the Disney War stuff. And the game looks like it could be good, but I didn't see myself connecting really much with the main character. I hope you're right where you can make your own character.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'm not feeling this chick. No, not that she's a woman or anything like that. It's just her whole personality, the vibe. It just didn't seem like something I could see myself getting into or anything like that. I mean, the universe looked good. It looked very Star Warsy, but I just have to wait and see what the actual story will play out because again, like ever since Disney has bought and owned Star Wars, it's just all the stuff that they come out with. Even I know it's Ubisoft and whatever, but it's just not good stuff. Like I know Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor is good, but like that still isn't even like great. Like to me, the best Star Wars game is like the original Battlefronts on like PlayStation 2 and Knights of the Old Republic. Those are literally the best Star Wars games ever made, to me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's just all this Disney-fied stuff is just not my thing right now.
Yeah.
So
Nah, I can get you. I can understand that. Like I said, I'm hoping Ubisoft can pull off a win here, man. They need a win. Seems like they turning around, man. Like Prince of Persia looks nice.
yeah, Prince of Persia does look really good, and I'm actually so surprised that like I was genuinely shocked when they announced a new Prince of Persia game because it's been so long.
Exactly.
Like Prince of Persia 3 is the last good one because they did like the whole what was that one on PS4 that was just terrible, and then they tried to do the remake and that just like
Prince of Persia Sands of Time.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I know that. Yeah, so that was the remake that was on PS4.
Yeah,
that was just bad.
Yeah,
that was a bad game. And the original one, Sands of Time on PS2, GameCube, original Xbox, those were great. I still own them. I still play them. But like, no.
Yeah.
But this new one looks amazing. I'm glad it's like a side scroller, and you still get like the agility of the original games, which I thought was also cool. So
exactly, yeah, I'm excited for that as well. One of the other ones that I wanted to put on my list, man, that I'm excited for is Forza Motorsport, and I know like they're working on Fable and stuff like that, and I'm just like, man, like I'm so glad Forza Motorsport is coming back because look, I know there's a community out there for Forza Horizon. I know Forza Horizon is the more like mainstream, arcadey, street racing type thing. But man, like I love the more technical, the more in-depth, paid attention to detail games like Forza Motorsport and Gran Turismo. And Forza Motorsport just seems like it's delivering on what the originals were and stuff. Man, I remember playing Forza Motorsport for hours on my Xbox 360. And so I plan on getting me I want to get a steering wheel for this. I want to hook this up to my PC, play on my monitors, immerse myself. I want to get all the way in depth in this, and I'm excited. They showed off a lot of great cars. They showed off a lot of great customization. They showed off a lot of tuning and switching out different components, tires, rims, engines, things like that, suspension. I know Anthony, I know you're kind of like a car head, man. I know you want to kind of test this, man, and try to find you a Nissan in there somewhere.
Yeah, the R33 for sure. If they have the old school cars in there, yeah, definitely all JDM all day, baby.
Yeah.
I do want to, when you get that steering wheel, I would like to test that out too.
Oh,
we have to plan out a trip or something.
Definitely, man. Yeah, man. I mean, come over, bro. Definitely. I want to get the steering wheel, the seat, everything like that. I mean,
pedals and all.
Yeah, pedals and all. Pedals,
shifter, manual, all that stuff.
Yeah, gear shifter, all that. Yeah, gear shifter, all that. Even the handbrake.
Oh hell yeah.
even the handbrake. So I mean, like,
Yeah, I definitely want to try that out.
definitely. And one of the last ones I wanted to bring up too. This was actually something that I've been waiting for a while now, and I'm glad we actually got a little bit more information on. Was Hellblade: Senua's Saga. And yo, man, it looks amazing as I knew it was. Unreal Engine 5 at its finest. Some of the most realistic graphics. I mean, even if you could, I mean, if to all our like viewers that are watching the video version, the actual like trailer and the screenshots and everything, man, just like, yo, it's hard to kind of it's hard to differentiate whether or not this is actual live action or not. You know, sometimes
so good.
And I'm just like, I don't know if you played the first Hellblade game, Anthony, but yo, like the first Hellblade game was amazing. It's very story driven. It made me care about the character, man. Like, and I love these writers who are on this team, and I know they're just gonna do a great job with this one again. Especially bringing back Senua again, and it's just like, you know, the story, the writing, the characters, like everything, like actually like makes you care about what happens to her and stuff like that. And it's just an overall good game as well, man. Great combat. You know, if you're into that, you know, pagan, like Viking lore or whatever like that, like this is also a great game for you as well, man. I'm pretty sure everybody, I mean, most people know about this game. If you don't, you've been living under a rock and you need to get from out under it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, I'm excited for this. This is one of the games that I'm like really anticipating, man. But like, what do you think? You know, is this something that you're gonna be? Is this something you're interested in? Because if you're interested in it, I recommend buying the first one.
Yeah, no, I was literally just about to say I've never played the first one, but seeing this trailer definitely makes me feel like I've missed out on a lot, and I should buy the first one.
Definitely.
And just get into this universe because it just looks so good. Like I was legit blown away. Like as I am with every Unreal, you know, Engine 5 game that I see, because it all just looks so good. So yeah, I'm just ready for it all.
Quick tidbit with this particular game though, right? So the first game was actually a PlayStation exclusive, and then the next year they got bought out by Xbox, and they accepted it.
Of course,
they got bought out by Xbox and accepted the deal and stuff. And I was like, why, Sony? Why did you not purchase Ninja Theory? I don't understand this.
Especially once they saw that Xbox was trying, or Microsoft was trying to do it, I would have been like, no, hell no. We need to keep that exclusive. Because like that's what's like the best thing about Sony right now.
Yeah,
is the exclusives. Xbox really doesn't have any, but they're on their way to having great exclusives. So I mean,
exactly. I mean,
it's gonna be hard to compete.
Definitely. That's a loss, another L for PlayStation. Another L.
Yep.
But all right, last thing I wanted to bring up too, and speaking of PlayStation, this is a good segue. Sony is not attending GamesCom 2023. I just want to bring this up real quick because this is actually like kind of some significant news. They're not attending GamesCom, which GamesCom replaced E3. E3 was the biggest gaming like platform, I guess, convention. And E3 is no longer like a thing today. We have Summer Games Fest and GamesCom, and it seems like GamesCom. Oh man, like when Sony decided not to show up at E3, everybody else followed suit. So my question to people at home, you Anthony, do you think the trend will happen again? Do you think the pattern will happen again with Nintendo dropping out, then Xbox, and then, you know, Gamescom just not being a thing anymore, and Summer Games Fest will be replacing Gamescom?
Honestly, yeah, I think everybody will drop out. There's no point for them to even, you know, do this. They all have their own showcases, so like, why even pay to be somewhere and pay to, you know, promote your games that are coming out when you could do it yourself in your own studios, in your own stage, in your own amphitheaters, you know?
Exactly.
Why give them money that you don't need to? You have everything you need.
Exactly.
So they should.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense only, you know what I'm saying? Like Sony, I mean, they make movies, so it's like they own like compounds and facilities to be able to allow PlayStation to just have a full-fledged production of their own and do their own showcase. And I think Sony was one of the first ones to actually get it and actually understand that gamers just want to see games. We don't want to see your market, your community manager on stage talking about how amazing the showcase is and what great games, you know, you're going to present. People just want to see games, you know. I mean, look, I love Jeff Keighley. Jeff Keighley seems like a pretty cool dude, but if Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest didn't have back-to-back games showcasing and gameplay and stuff like that,
we'd all be over it.
Yeah, I don't want to see you stand on stage and talk for like, you know, 15, 20 minutes about how amazing the showcase is and stuff, unless you're like interviewing people like Ed Boon or whatever like that, you know what I'm saying? Like actual developers getting more insight, I want to be educated on what is being, like what game is being showcased that I've never heard of before, or a sequel to something. And so I don't know, man, like I'm curious. I don't know how this is going to go, because what happened with E3, once Sony pulled out, everybody pulled out. And I'm pretty sure Nintendo, if I'm not mistaken, Nintendo might have done it first, because Nintendo had Nintendo Direct for a while. So I think Nintendo was the first one to do it first, then Sony followed suit, then Xbox.
Yeah, so, I thought it was Nintendo first too.
Yeah, so I mean, Sony's like, you know what, we're gonna do it first. We got play, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the PlayStation Showcase, this was the first one since E3, because they've had State of Play, which is something different. State of Play is like the little smaller, like, you know, showcase that only maybe runs like 20 to 30 minutes. This was like a full-fledged PlayStation Showcase this year. That showcase, like, it was like an hour long. So I don't know, man. Yeah, it was great. It was definitely great, but yeah, man, it's oh man, like we may have another convention on its way out, and it seems like, you know, this is gonna end up being a trend, man. But I mean, hey, I've actually never been to GamesCom before. I mean, it's in Germany. That's the main reason why. But I've actually never been to GamesCom before. I've always wanted to go to GamesCom, but I guess I can end up going to the Games Awards, I guess, until they, you know, till people start pulling out of that. But Jeff Keighley has his grip on the gaming convention side, and I'm pretty like, you know, Games Fest. I mean, Games Fest actually had a physical location this year too. So I mean, maybe I can go to Games Fest this time around. But
maybe we both can.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could take a trip over to LA. Definitely take a trip over to LA and meet Nicolas Cage. He came out on stage this year.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, all right. Is there anything else you want to add to this, man, or you know?
No, that's pretty much it for me.
All right, definitely, man. Well, you guys go ahead. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Give us that support. We really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you go check us out on TikTok, as well as Facebook, Instagram, if you want to go over there, as well. And what else do they need to do, Anthony?
Hit that damn bell.
Better hit that damn bell, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.